We've been staying on a nice little KOA campsite, just the Alabama side of the Pensacola Bridge that you can see in the background there. This morning we had a lovely walk along the beach in the Gulf Shores National Park, and we're kind of getting ready to leave tomorrow. We're going to stay in a campsite just the other side of the bridge in Florida. So we just thought, whilst the RV is nice and tidy, ready to leave tomorrow, we'd walk through and just explain a few of the improvements, just to recap on a few of the improvements we've made, because quite a few of you ask us about them, and you know, some of them were several videos ago and quite a while ago now. We've had the camper nearly 2.5 years, so we just thought we'd do a recap for you and a little walkthrough. Now before we go in, we've had a delivery at the campsite. Now that's not unusual, Glenn's always having deliveries at campsites, but he's asked me to open it, which is a bit intriguing. It's heavy, it is heavy. It might be a picture or a painting, or it could be another toolkit for Glenn, you never know. Anyway, what is in here? Oh my goodness. Oh, it's the top for the cooktop. Oh my God. That's so exciting. I've been wanting this for ages. Oh, that's marvellous. This is to go over the cooktop so that when we're not using it, which is probably about 75% of the time, we'd probably triple our work surface, in my work surface in the kitchen when I'm cooking. That's fantastic. Hey, brilliant. Can't wait to get that on. Great, so we'll fit that in a moment. Let's put this to one side so it doesn't blow away. That's marvellous. Superb. Okay, let's go in. Actually, without even going into our RV, I can point out a few of the improvements we've made. The very important one, and has something that saved us a lot of hassle, is, if you remember, about a year ago, probably over a year ago, Glenn and Andy from Entegra fixed the step slide. We had terrible problems with it, jamming closed. And ever since then, fantastic fix. We also, just to point out, we also put these pads here which stop it rattling when we're going along. You know, it doesn't rattle too much, but this just helps that little bit more, absorb some of that impact. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to replace this, because they do a lovely chrome one which is illuminated, which picks up on these lights here, and it's not actually very well fitted, this one, so that's just a little upgrade we're going to do. So that's the step slide. We put some mats on the steps to match the mat the entrance mat, which is very good for getting all your muddy, dusty feet clean before you go in. The other great little feature we like are the Illuminated Cup Holders, green of course, to match our coach. They're also available in blue and red to match people who have blue and red coaches. If you've got a brown one, tough. Some of the fixes are really so simple. The best inventions are, aren't they? And one of them is the problem with the Samsung televisions and the one remote that you are using, wanting to operate all of them at the same time. Such an annoying thing. When you're trying to close one television down, the other one starts up, and then you close this one down and the other one starts up again. So what we've done is, just to show you, we've just covered the infrared signal, the infrared receiver on this front television with a bit of tape, white at the moment, but obviously we'll redo that in black. It was just to show you. So that when you operate the big television in the lounge, this sensor is desensitized and it does not operate this television. However, when you operate the front television, if you want the GPS on, for example, when you're traveling with the remote control for this television, it's near enough to actually operate the television. So that is such a simple and effective solution to that never-ending problem of TV remotes. One great feature we've added to this cab area are the coloured lights just in front of the roller shades, sorry. They really do come into their own at night when this area is a bit of a dark hole. So at the moment they're just blue, but we are going to put a light colour changer on these so that we can have them different colours. The entrance mat we made has been a great success, so much better than that bit of carpet that Entegra give you, which really only lasts a few months. Glenn and I really like to make the coach our own. We've done it with all the other coaches we've had, and we've done it with our Entegra, and we are going to continue to improve it. The most successful feature, I think, has been this centre ceiling light panel, which we changed the awful white fluorescent lights that were in it for some coloured LEDs. And we can now change this feature to any colour in the rainbow. And if we want to, we can have a disco effect. We don't do that very often. It's just such a fabulous feature. And we were quite disappointed when we saw the 2019 Entegras that they've done away with this feature completely now. It's about a third of the size, and it's just like big square blocks of wood on the ceiling, which unfortunately you won't be able to make this change. But anybody who's got a 2016, possibly 17 as well, I'm not sure, you can make this change so easily. I say so easily, it definitely needs 2 or 3 people to take that big panel down. I would hate anybody for it to land on anybody's head. But it's so well worth doing. While we're on the subject of lighting improvements, something that really bugged us when we first got our coach was the base accent lighting, which, as you can see, is very bright and not something you want to look at when you're trying to look at the television behind in particular. So we asked Entegra to make our base accent lighting dimmable, which at first they said no, wasn't possible, but we persuaded them it was possible, and they did it for us. And if you have the base accent lighting and you're not happy with it, it's a fix that we would highly recommend you ask Entegra to do. It's really very simple. We love our fireplace, by the way, wouldn't be without that. I know it's hot outside now and I'm in shorts, but just that little glow of the fire, even though the heat isn't on, it's so friendly. Okay, enough of the lighting. I'm just going to go out and get my cooktop cover and fit it. Beautiful, look at that. That is such an improvement. Look, I mean, you know, I've got all this space to work. And really, I never like putting things on top of the cooktop. So this definitely is one problem solved. However, another one has been created where I'm going to put this when I do want to use the cooktop. Now, we noticed in the 2019 Entegras that they do provide a cooktop cover made in the same material as your worktop. And they actually store it in this compartment here above the microwave, which they've put on a hinge mechanism. Ours doesn't open, it's just a panel. Now, the only problem with that is these things are are heavy. I mean, this is a Korean one and this is very heavy. If you have granite in your RV and you've got one of these, I doubt if your average person would even be able to lift it, let alone lift it and put it up there every time you want to use your cooktop. So we thought a better solution maybe is to use this drawer. And I know a lot of people use this as a spice drawer, blah blah blah, but we don't actually put a great deal in this drawer, and these things I can probably find another home for. So I just want to see if it does fit in here. It does actually fit like a glove. That's incredible. There isn't a millimetre to spare. But I think that's much more practical. You can always put things on the top of it if you want to. But, you know, that drawer takes the weight, it's evenly spread. I don't think that's going to cause any problem at all. So I think that's a much better solution than putting it up here. I mean, you know, that also, it could fall, or as you're getting it out, you can't quite grab the weight and it could fall and break your cooktop, and you really wouldn't want that to happen. Glenn did have a thought about the cooktop. Because it's Korean and basically stone, it's possibly not a good idea to let this rough stone touch or possibly grate on the glass cooktop. So what he has already thought of, being the genius that he is, you can get this drawer liner material in all shapes and sizes. You know, normally you put it in your drawers to stop things slipping, and this is the perfect thing to fit inside your countertop cover. All you have to do is cut a piece same size as the inside and get some spray adhesive, glue that in there, and then when you turn that over and put it on your cooktop, there's not going to be any friction between the two surfaces, the glass and the stone, or the glass and the granite, or the glass and the Korean. So that's going to be a much safer solution. I can't turn it over because it'll go like that. Now I'm going to talk about the ingenious fix of the flapping vent, which we talked about in earlier videos. You all know the story about the vent cover being painted closed. We discovered that this should open, and then that solved the problem of the smoke alarms going off all the time. So when you vent from the microwave, you put your vent on, that flap is open and the air goes out. However, it flaps around when you're driving along the road. So Glenn did the famous vent flap fix, and it's a electromagnet that closes when this switch is on and holds the vent flap closed. Brilliant. The other advantage that we've recently discovered of this fix is that when you're staying anywhere windy, which we have done in the last few weeks, we've been in tornado areas, we've been in hurricanes in Houston, and at night when the wind gets up, you can hear that flapping noise again. And of course we have the perfect fix for it now. I just get up, or before I go to bed, I just flick the switch on, and the vent will not move in the strongest of winds, I can assure you. Fantastic. I'm just going to show you what my cupboard looked like before my wonderful husband put the lighting in it. Ugh. Pretty dark. Now, we keep our crockery in here. A lot of people use this as a pantry. How you ever find what you're looking for, I do not know. So, now I'm going to show you with the lights on. What a difference. I can see absolutely every single thing in that cupboard on every level. It's fantastic. Oh, and of course it changes colour depending on your mood. Isn't that wonderful? Fabulous. And by the way, when you close the cupboards, it's not the cupboards that turn the light off. They're on a timer, so they just stay on a few seconds longer and then they go off, which is superb. Now, any Entegra owner of a 2015, 16, 17, maybe even 18 will know that the bright lights above you when you're reading in bed are unbelievably strong. They actually give me a headache when I'm reading in bed. So after a long time putting up with this and arguments going to bed, you know, oh, you can't put that bright light on reading, and I like to read before I go to bed. So Glenn has installed these beautiful little light fittings. We believe they're the ones that are in the cornerstone actually, and he's wired them into the circuit that these old ones were on, so these in fact don't work now. These are directional, so you know, if you don't want to disturb your partner too much, if you're reading and they're sleeping, you can turn them away. You still get plenty of light to read by, and they also switch on and off on the light fitting or on the overhead bed switch. So we are so pleased with this, and they are also independently switched, so you don't have to have both on, which is great. Fantastic fix. And this, by the way, is a great book. Believe it or not, we've also found room for a couple of little improvements lighting wise in our ensuite bathroom. I like to see what's in my wardrobes as well as my pantry or crockery cupboard. So Glenn has kindly installed lighting in my wardrobe, our wardrobe, besides mine. He's put lighting above and below this shelf. So very practically, it lights whatever is in the wardrobe, particularly the hanging space in the wardrobe, right the way down to your untidy shoes. The lighting that was in this cupboard before was one light source right at the back above the top shelf, which is solid. So totally impractical, Entegra. You know, do you ever think these things through? That light is never going to light what's in your wardrobe, especially if you've got things on the top shelf, which obviously we keep our towels there, and I'm sure everybody else uses every spare bit of storage room. And the lights come on when you open these doors, unlike the ones in the pantry. So each time you open either side, it operates the lights, turns the lights on. Obviously they also change colour if you want them to. If you want to light your clothes in a psychedelic way or get some mood going when you're getting ready to go out. These little controls. Great. Good fun. We made a great little purchase the other day in Bed Bath & Beyond, one of our favourite shops. This magnifying mirror that lights, that also has a light. You know, when you get to our age, eyesight's not so good, and you have these in really nice hotels, and I've always loved them. So we purchased one for ourselves, which we're really happy with. The great thing about this is that it's the light in it is battery operated, so no need to connect any wires or anything. It's really solid and strong, and it doesn't move at all when you're driving along. It stows away really quite nice and neatly there, just above the towel rail. It's absolutely brilliant. Love it. Still in the bathroom, we love our shower. It's the corner shower, and Glenn has improved it even more, and he's put some lighting in the shower, which, as you can see, is so effective. There's a natural channel for it to go into. They're completely waterproof, So absolutely safe. It gives a fabulous effect. We quite often just have those on in the bathroom. The wiring is completely concealed behind the back of the toilet and into the top of the shower, which you don't see at all. And obviously they change colour, which we love. It's really very, very clever. We hope you've enjoyed the walkthrough of the RV and all the little improvements we've made. There really isn't anything too difficult to them. Most folks will be able to do them themselves. If you would like any of the products or any further information about how to make the changes, including the countertop, the LED lights, the cup holders, the doormat, go to our associate website, which is rv-mods.com, and you'll find links to the videos for some of the installations and changes that we've made. Some of them we've actually done a separate video on. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, our YouTube channel, our Instagram. Like it if you like it. Don't you dare put the thumbs down. And it's a pleasure to do these videos for everyone, and we love it. Cheerio.